Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joe Dehls. And this is episode 439. Happy Merry Christmas Eve to everybody out there. My camera went out. Now I'm back. Fellas, how are we doing? I mean, working on Christmas Eve. The grind does not stop.
Riv, better question. How are you doing, buddy? Welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a long time back with my fellas. Starting dry January and dry February today. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, I'm done drinking. But I had a fun time. My cruise was lit. Watching y'all content was lit, and I'm happy just to be back. I feel good.
Do you believe him at all?
You're watching a lot of NBA on the cruise. I seen your tweet about Cade a lot, about Ja a lot, more than usual too.
Yeah, I'd catch it like so if we go to dinner like at night and they'll have the TV up, or like if I'll go to the bar, the TV will be up and I'll be sitting in the bar for like an hour or two. So I'll tune into some game. I'll be like, hey, like turn the Grizzlies game on, or like, oh, turn Cade on just for a second. So I was able to catch more sports now than I caught last time, which is really good because I was able to still keep up with some stuff. I'm
gonna be real with you, Riv. I'm rooting for you for dry January, dry February.
Let's get to it.
Be transparent. There's no part of me that believes in you.
Why?
Wow.
It should be your New Year's resolution.
If somebody hits you for a vibe, you're gonna go.
I'm gonna go, but the I don't want to not go. My problem is I got to go and not drink. That's gonna be the
Riv, you said you're starting today though?
Yes.
I respect that about you, man.
Yeah, because I went out Sunday.
One thing that irritates me more than anything, New Year's resolutions are great. I think a lot of people, if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. But if you're like, I need to make a change on December 24th, why wait another week? Why not just start today?
I agree.
Sometimes you want to give yourself some leeway to be a fuck up. That's what you want to do.
He's cooking.
Say, you know what? Okay, these are my last 6 days to be a piece of shit. After these 6 days, I'ma just change as a person.
Joel, this is some elite level spitting. Lord have mercy.
I would have did it, but on Sunday I came back off the boat and I had to go to a brunch. And while I was at the brunch, I was fucked up. Had like 8-9 shots. We got the margarita tower.
Why?
We had
9.
We had the mimosa. I bought like a whole mimosa cup. Was drinking that. Then we got a margarita tower. Drunk half of that.
Where were you at?
We was in Elizabeth, then we ended up at Pub 46. And so after that night, I'm like, I should start like probably like the next day. Like this is over. So I'm locked in, man. I'm excited.
Was the cruise all inclusive?
What you mean?
Like, did you have to pay for the drinks and everything, or was it included with everything you paid for?
Like, it usually is in like a total. So like, you'll get a room, and then you can choose to pay for a drinking package. You could choose to pay for like Wi-Fi package. I definitely got the drinking package. There's no
for sure.
Got that.
Oh man, what's dangerous are Smirnoff Ices. They taste delicious, and wow, they get you pretty messed up. Those are really good.
You like the 2%ers?
No,
Wait,
Joel, what?
You don't drink Smirnoff Ices?
You ever?
You're crazy.
No.
The Smirnoff Ices.
Smirnoff Ice.
No, the Smirnoff Ices. It comes in a party pack. They have the screwdriver flavor. They got the pink lemonade, the green apple. They got the original flavor.
They definitely smack. I just can't be seen drinking one, unfortunately.
Why can't you be seen drinking one?
No, Joel. Don't act like you're better than Joel here, Mr. King. Fruity drink. Stop.
No comment.
I get fruity drinks, but at least they're in a cup.
All right.
But I mean, Smirnoff Ice cans fake crazy.
No,
Smirnoff Ice is wicked.
Smirnoff Ice is just what I'd go with. Whenever my brother comes over, I tell him, yo, listen, he asked me, should I bring something? I say, bring Smirnoff Ices. Bring a pack. And then I'm going to get lit. Yeah. No, my favorite flavor is the screwdriver. I like the pink lemonade. I tried that a couple of days ago.
Let me ask you an honest question, Joel. How many Smirnoff Ices does it take you to feel a little some?
This past weekend, surprisingly, it was about like 2. Like after 1.5, I was like, okay.
What percent are they?
Okay, I have no idea. I don't look at the labeling.
Joel is a lightweight. He is.
But
I think a Smirnoff Ice is the same as anything else.
I drank 3 though. I drank 3 in total that night. I drank the pink lemonade first, then I drank the screwdriver, then I drank the green apple. So I had 3 in total.
All right, they're 4.5.
4.5. Okay.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
It's like drinking a beer. except it's a Smirnoff Ice.
So I got
It
like
tastes way better than a beer.
So I got like
already know.
13% of alcohol. If you add all those 4.5%, that's like a tenth of my body.
Is that how that works?
I don't know. I guess
Pow. That is
Three
not how
Smirnoff
alcohol works.
Ices is 10% of your body.
if my body's 100% and it's 4%,
There's no way that's
4.5%
how that works.
alcohol, you
That's
add
not
those
how
up,
it works.
it's 13% or more. It's just some simple math,
I
fellas.
think that's how that goes for alcohol.
Oh man, who knows? But I had other things in my
No,
system
there's
as
no
well.
who knows.
Who knows? Now who knows? But listen,
know.
it's Christmas Eve. Hopefully everybody out there is having a great time with their
Merry
families.
Christmas, happy holidays.
Joel, you celebrate today or tomorrow?
I celebrate whenever I want, to be honest. I already opened my gifts with
Excuse
Jess.
What the hell?
Yeah. I
This
I
guy's
was
Mr. Anti-Christmas.
it
He was
was
just talking to us about we were supposed to go see the lights. Well, not we just wanted to go see him do a gingerbread house. I don't do that shit. That's not me. This guy really hates Christmas.
no, I just told her, I'm like, listen, if you want to do that stuff, you have to really remind me because it's not something that has been in my routine for my life. But no, last night I stayed up until like 4 or 5 in the morning playing Madden franchise. And around that time, I just told Jess, I'm like, yo, you want to just open these right now? I just want to see what I got. And she got me we gave each other a lot of gifts. She got me a Street Profits WWE action figure, the tag team. Yeah, that was tough. She got me some socks. I needed socks. She got me some Nike socks. I desperately needed that. And she got me a smartwatch too, you know, so I could keep track the time and, you know, the steps and all that. And she got me a hoodie that I don't want to reveal what it is just yet because you guys are even gonna laugh when I bring out the hoodie. It's gonna come on at a show in the future. But
laugh.
Yeah.
God, I already have some guesses.
No.
We actually did our Secret Santa, Joel and I, the day of my birthday party. So after you left, Joel, Riv, wherever you were, whatever, don't want to talk about it, get upset. We did our Secret Santa. I actually got some heat. Shout out to Max. He was my Secret Santa. He got me the OTC cutoff hoodie. Yes, he chefed. It was an elite present. I actually have one right here. He gave me like a giant Broncos mouse pad.
Yeah.
That was elite. And then he gave me a Funko Pop from Demon Slayer Nezuko. But like Nezuko when she's like her ultimate form demon. So he did right for me. Joel got some cool gifts too. My cousin was his Secret Santa.
So the fact that you're mentioning that you got the Roman Reigns hoodie, I as well got a Roman Reigns hoodie, but with a different saying in the front.
What do you mean by that?
It doesn't say OTC. It just says something else.
What does it say?
Okay, I'll just reveal it right now. It says needle mover.
That's
It says needle mover. And
all right, she cooked with that
one. When I got it, I was like, oh shit. I instantly thought of PJ Washington. And I was like,
nuts when the Mavericks go and trade their needle mover for Zion Williamson.
Oh, that ain't happening. Nobody wants Zion, man. He's cooked. Zion is cooked.
All this is telling me is I need a girlfriend.
Need to get some gifts.
Yeah, I need some gifts, man. I need somebody to do that for me.
How many presents?
Love on the boat. I was hoping for you, praying for you.
I found love every day on the boat, but it wasn't real sustaining love.
It was more lust.
Riv, to be transparent with you, man, one of the main parts of my morning routine was immediately opening Instagram and looking at your story and your note. Like I needed that. I needed the
notes
story
were killing me, bro.
What were the notes? I don't.
The
even
notes
remember.
were killing me.
What did I say?
Well, one of the notes, it was like a bunch of questions. Like you were answering questions.
5 notes at the same time.
One of them was like, "How many kids do you want?" You answered honestly. It was this cruise is really showing me that I need a girlfriend.
Oh yeah, dude, I was wilding.
No, you definitely were. There were other Instagram posts that we will not comment on the podcast. We spoke about them prior. We'll keep that separate. But your Instagram, I feel like it's a must follow. Truthfully.
Low key sometimes. I mean, like, because it was the point where we were in the middle of the cruise and I was walking around and I was just looking at the couples and I'm like, damn, they get to do all this cool shit. I'm not doing none of that. So that's why I was like, yeah, I need a girlfriend. It's time.
Last thing. Explain how the fuck you almost fell off the boat.
Bro, first of all, fuck Dehls.
Whoa.
Fuck Dehls, bro. Because I'm like, yo, bro. So it was like 2-3 in the morning. and I'm fucked up. Like I'm like 20 drinks in. Like at that point, it's bad.
20?
Yeah, bro.
20
It's
is insane.
bad, bro. Like, and I've been drinking since like 6 o'clock. So it's like 2, 3 in the morning. And I'm walking. I was like, yo, Marlon, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. He was like, all right, be safe. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So I'm going to the bathroom, walking to the bathroom. I come out the bathroom. I end up outside, and it's really windy outside. So the wind is blowing, and I'm kind of wobbling, and I'm on FaceTime. So I'm on the phone. I'm on FaceTime with this girl, and she said something to me, and I kind of just jumped back, but then I ended up tripping over like a hose. And as I'm tripping over the hose, I literally am damn near by the balcony, and I almost fall over. I'm literally like, oh shit, I almost fell over. So I had to like sit down for like 10 minutes to get my balance back. But I tweeted about it, and this fucker down here starts laughing at it. And I'm just like, yo, dude, like, you're gonna ask if I'm okay or nah, you just not gonna give a fuck.
Bro, I figured if you could tweet about it, you're fine.
Bro, it was a life-changing moment, because what if I'd have fell off the boat?
That's what
would've
we were
tweeted about
talking
it.
about. Do you think Marlon would have jumped in to get you?
You know what's sad? The sad part is
Bro, it's dark out. No way.
nobody
No
was
way.
around me. I was literally by myself.
Yeah,
So
you're
nobody
fucked.
would have known I fell off the boat.
You're in the middle of the ocean at night. You're done.
The boat wasn't stopping.
No way.
Yeah,
No one would be able to see you.
Why I'm a sick fuck. I'm here laughing at the idea of you falling in the water and screaming for help.
And you're 20 drinks in? No, you're cooked, bro.
Dude, I'm not going to be able to swim. The water is cold. I had shorts on, brother. It was so bad. Yeah, that was like day 3. That might have been like day 3.
That was a cruise, correct?
You probably would have died.
Yeah, no, I was done.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
they
definitely would have died.
water. Oh yeah. We was at the top of no, I was gonna die.
No, you're not dying from hitting the water. You're drowning.
Oh,
You're
for sure.
drunk as fuck.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pitch black.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
over.
Yeah, the boat's moving. Yeah, no, it was over. But
Oh
I'm here
my
though.
God, Riv.
Yeah, no, it was bad, bro. I was fucked up, bro. Went back and I kept drinking.
I respect you for that.
You finished with what, 30 drinks on the night?
Some nights it was. Yeah, it usually.
What were you ordering?
Oh man, it went from like
They have
shots.
like Miami Vices there. They have like island drinks.
Yeah, so I had a lot of rum. I had a lot of wine too. I had a couple shots, but mainly rum, wine. Definitely got my fruity drinks in Dehls. You know we gotta always get the fruity drinks.
No Margies?
Oh, do I even need to say that?
That's
That's
on me,
number
bro.
1. That's number
My
1.
bad.
So I got a lot. It was a lot, but it was like the wine stops getting taken at like 9. Then it starts to like, all right, I need my rum punches, my margaritas, and some shots.
The
So,
thing is, you drink the wine, bro. You just be sleepy after that. So you're starting the night with wine?
yeah, we're at dinner. You know, we're at a nice
Fair.
fancy dinner. So you getting some drink, not getting wine at a fancy dinner looks crazy. So
Not
like
gonna disagree.
you gotta like get some wine to start it off. You know, I'm a fast drinker, so I drink like 3 cups at the dinner table, and now I'm like
chugging
fucking
wine.
Yeah, I'm like bent.
I've been there. I ain't judging.
Yeah,
I'll send the glass. Yo, pour it up, baby.
yeah, I'm like, yo, because they always come back more and more. I'm like, fuck it, just keep pouring it. So
Now, in today's episode, we're going to give some NFL Week 16 takeaways, predict the Christmas games and the Thursday night football game, as well as the Christmas games for the NBA, and talk about the 2 players of the week, because last week, because of the Emirates Cup, there were none. So this week, we're getting back on track. But before we do all that, this episode is sponsored by Prize Picks. You can use code PAS. You play $5, you get $50. And Prize Picks right now has a free square. Nikola Jokic only has to score 1 point. If he scores 1 point, you win. We all know that's going to happen. So that's added to one of our prospect plays. But Drew, what's your prospect play? Because you, me, and Riv all got one.
Pat Freiermuth is going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. What's one thing the Kansas City Chiefs can't do? Stop a tight end. Pat Freiermuth didn't have the greatest game this past weekend, but he's been on a baby heater. Give me Pat Freiermuth to have more than 3 receptions against KC. George Pickens most likely back in this game. You know, a lot of the attention is going to be on him, but that means that Pat's going to be open over the middle of the field, and the Chiefs really don't defend that well against it. Give me Freiermuth 3 receptions.
And then for me, listen, I got a hot take I'm going to say a little bit later, but I'm taking Nico Collins just to score 1 touchdown against the Baltimore Ravens. That secondary is a little bit fluky. Nico Collins is one of them dudes you just can't guard in space. I think him and CJ Stroud have one of the best connections in football. So give me Nico Collins to score a touchdown against the Ravens. At home, by the way. So you have that little home bonus too.
I'm going with Jalen Brunson, 23.5 points against the Spurs on Christmas Day. He didn't play well against the Raptors. He shot poorly. And this has been a trend with Brunson. Every other game after he has one of those performances, he typically goes off. I'm expecting him to bounce back in a major way, get 23.5 points. And if you guys want to tail us, then go download Prospects, use code PAS, play $5, get $50. But if you guys also want to use your own picks, you guys don't have to tell us. You can still use that code. You can still use that offer. Jokic right now has a free square. 1 point equals a win. So make sure you guys go on Prospects. Make sure you guys play responsibly and help support out the pod if you want to. Now, Week 16 NFL takeaways. Dehls, I want to start off with you. What was something that intrigued Mr. Dehls while watching NFL Week 16?
There's one takeaway that sits above all else to me. We watched this game together. Lamar Jackson has put the Steelers' nightmares to bed. Got his first win against the Steelers since 2019. 3 touchdowns.
One
He was
game.
sensational. 2019, I know it's been a long time, but a couple of those games, to be fair, he missed a couple with injury. One game he lost because of COVID in like 2020. So it was only like 3 games or something like that, 3 or 4 games at most. But he hadn't beat them. He lost them earlier in this season, which was a really ugly game. And even this game, it still had a little Ravens-Steelers feel to it, right? Like Lamar's stat line was still really nice, but I wouldn't say it was the most beautiful game that the Ravens have played offensively this year. Derrick Henry was able to get it going, but it was just great to see that narrative, at least for the day, because Steelers fans are still going to talk their shit, at least for the day, get put to bed. Lamar gets his first win since 2019.
So why do you think are you saying like since they won this game now it's a streak of
It's over.
consistently winning?
It's up.
Okay,
It's
I
up.
like that. I like that. Listen, Dehls, your famous quote, they were due. So
Lord
they were
knows.
due, and now you can see the continuation. For me, one thing I saw was Jaden Daniels kind of locked up offensive rookie of the year. I think with that performance, I think that was the performance right there. That kind of, if you were swaying Bo Nix or if he was kind of heating up, getting into the race, Brock Bowers was another one who was getting a lot of love in the race because he's been, I believe, top 7, top 6 in receiving yards for a tight end on a pretty dog shit Raiders team. So he's been doing his thing. I think he's also tops in receptions for a rookie. But I think that performance right there, with the way the Washington Commanders were playing, I mean, Jalen Hurts goes down. With Kenny Pickett, they seem to not miss a beat. Saquon was doing his thing. Typically in the first half, Saquon was doing his thing. Second half, Washington tightened up. Even when Jaden Daniels throwing an interception that felt like the game was essentially over, you get a Smitty drop in the clutch time, which probably would have sealed the game. They kick a field goal, and what does Jaden Daniels do? He drives down on them. Kind of felt like this game, for me as an Eagles fan, felt just like the Falcons game. Like literally just like the Falcons game, in which we had an opportunity to seal the game. Somebody, an important superstar on our team, drops the ball. We have to kick a field goal, and then they drive on us. And that's what Jaden Daniels did. And I think with this performance, it wasn't the cleanest, but it was a clutch one. It was much needed. And I think for me, it locked up offensive rookie of the year for him.
I got a couple things to say. One, did it break your heart seeing Smitty drop that ball?
Yes,
Him being the one that dropped the ball broke me the most because everybody knows like Smitty is one of my favorite players, and him
And
dropping
he doesn't drop anything. He never drops a pass.
especially that. It was just like I
Right.
was like, oh my god.
Number 2, I'll concede. That was a rookie of the year type performance, especially to do that in the clutch, regardless of whether Jalen Hurts was able to finish the game or not, to walk off against arguably the best team in the league. Jaden Daniels, that's a pretty great game. We'll see what Bo Nix does against the Bengals and against the Chiefs. Who knows?
He's a miracle.
But I'm not going to disagree with you. That was definitely a rookie of the year moment.
The race is over.
My Week 16 takeaways. I got 2. 1, Bryce Young is here, and he's good at football. I do believe that very, very strongly. He led this week in PFF passing grade and overall offensive grade, the most big-time throws, highest big-time throw percentage. Bryce Young has really become a much more refined, a much more confident passer since coming back from being benched. It's been shown over these last few weeks, but what has stood out to me the most is how strong he's been in the pocket. He has obvious pressure in his face. He trusts his anticipation. He trusts his accuracy, and he's putting the ball right on the money. Saw a lot of these plays over these last couple of weeks, but in this game, we saw big play after big play, and I want to give him some love. Now, my next takeaway, I think the Rams although this wasn't their best offensive performance against the New York Jets, coming off a 19-9 victory, I think the Rams have a legitimate shot of going to the NFC Championship game. I believe that this offense, now that you're starting to get Kyron Williams involved in the run game and him be an efficient rusher, one of the issues early on, he wasn't efficient enough. Now we start to get him back efficient. Now he's fumbling the football. We're starting to see him really clean things up in that side. I also think that has to do with Blake Corum getting a little bit of opportunity. But this has also been a majority where Cooper Kupp hasn't been a focal point in the offense these last couple of weeks. It's been Puka Nacua, it's been Kyron Williams, and it's been working to get these guys some W's. And where it stands right now, it looks like the Rams are going to secure that top spot in the NFC West. And this has been one of the more resilient offenses, one of the more resilient defenses. And when you have Matthew Stafford in a playoff situation and Sean McVay, it is not a situation that a lot of opposing teams want to go up against. And you look at the way that they've been playing ball, that is a team that should be considered a strong dark horse.
You spoke about Jaden Daniels, Riv. Not the cleanest game, but he had 5 touchdowns. And out of 39 of his dropbacks, 33 of them were non-play action. He was doing this without easy buttons being implemented in the offense with his legs. That 4th and 11 scramble for the first down when they were down 2 scores. I mean, this was more than an offensive rookie of the year performance. This was an MVP performance. And I know that Hurts went out and all Eagles fans are pointing to that moment, but this is still the number 1 ranked defense in football. Like, you don't just do this against the Eagles defense. The fact that Jaden Daniels performed this well against this defense was eye-opening. It was very impressive.
Adding on, he didn't play well the first matchup. Like, to go from he played like shit the first matchup to just do this, like, that's real bit in the film all week. Like,
yes.
So yeah, like, that was amazing.
It speaks to Cliff Kingsbury. He's been adjusting his offense, using more motion, moving Terry McLaurin around more. And the Commanders right now, just with Jaden Daniels, he's just a special player. And the 2024 quarterback draft class with Jaden at the top, Caleb and Drake May. Drake May is looking the part with his arm talent. Caleb, I think he's had a fine rookie season. And I think once he gets Ben Johnson, hopefully, because Ben Johnson is looking to interview with the Bears and he might go there, I think he'll really showcase who he is as a talent. The top 3 in this class, they're like franchise-changing talents, and Jaden is already doing that with the Commanders. And I thought this game also spoke to how great the Eagles are. Like, even though they lost, Kenny Pickett is not a starting level quarterback. And this has been spun into like a Jalen Hurts value thing. And I think if they win the game, I think if Hurts plays, they win the game, of course. But the fact that the Eagles can start a backup quarterback for most of the game, a backup as bad as Kenny Pickett, and almost beat a playoff team, just a drop away from beating a playoff team, it speaks to how great the Eagles are as a team. Like, that's why when you go from a backup to Kenny Pickett to Jalen Hurts, this team is almost unbeatable, because a string of unfortunate events has to happen in order for the Eagles to lose. Like, the script has to be perfect for that to happen. Like, you mentioned the Falcons game, like, how crazy was that comeback with the Saquon drop and Kirk Cousins driving 90 yards down the field to score a touchdown? Like, things have to go really wrong for the Eagles to lose. That's how talented they are. You spoke on the Eagles, Dehls. The Ravens, Dehls. I am ready to believe in this team once again, because they are turning around on defense. Since week 11, they have been one of the best defenses in football, and that's because Kyle Hamilton has moved from playing in the box to playing free safety more. 9% of his snaps early in the season were at free safety. That's up to 33% now. In that time frame, since week 11, the Ravens are first in yards per play. They're 4th in EPA per play. They have an 11% big play pass percentage. The Ravens defense is now shaping out to be one of the better units in football by benching Marcus Williams and having Kyle Hamilton and Ardarius Washington out there playing safety. And I think that's the change they needed, because there was too many lapses early in the season. And then I had 2 more takeaways. This is a question for all of you guys. Is Kyler Murray, are we ready to just say he's not one of those guys? He's not a franchise quarterback. It's another collapse that I feel like is inexcusable. Losing is one thing. Being one of the main culprits as to why you lost versus the Seahawks twice, versus the Vikings, and now versus the Panthers. That was the most embarrassing loss of them all.
Yeah, I
I
think.
didn't.
Oh.
Go ahead, bud. No, it's
okay.
good. Go ahead.
Thank you. All right. I think, I think the situation is this. You walked into this year with Kyler being your guy. You kind of didn't expect Arizona to be as competitive as they was this year, and they've been really competitive. They had an opportunity to kind of take the division away. And the reason they have it is mainly in part of their quarterback Kyler Murray, because there's been times where he's collapsed. There's been times where he's not throwing it to guys who are open. There's been time he's been a little bit rattled, and I get that part, but I think I still believe in Kyler Murray's talent. I think this year, towards the end, it hasn't been a good look. Will he be a franchise guy going forward? No. But what I believe in is this team can get a lot better. And being that this team can get a lot better in terms of adding guys on offense, in terms of adding guys on defense, like they have a good amount of cap space. They have positions to fill. And being as if they do, I don't think Kyler Murray is a guy that he's not an elite floor raiser. I don't think he's that. I don't think he's a guy that he's shown you that he's a guy where if he doesn't have a lot of talent around him, he can really elevate that situation. I think that's what we're seeing. But I think with Arizona, if you get him a little bit more talent, which is really what they're showing us, that's all they need, just a little bit more talent. This team can be really competitive, and I think Kyler Murray can really, propel that ship.
Listen, we know I love Kyler. I'll say this. In the games that you mentioned, the two that stand out to me the most are that first Seahawks game and then this most recent versus the Carolina Panthers. The first Seahawks game, really just looking at Kyler, I've seen him have some of the worst INTs I've seen a quarterback have this year versus the Seahawks and this week versus the Carolina Panthers. It's just brain dead decisions, just trying to make something out of nothing. And then you go and you just have a terrible turnover. One that got returned for a pick six against Seattle, and the other that it looks like you're past the line of scrimmage regardless, but you just end up throwing right to the defender. It sucks because you know how talented he is. It just seems as if he's trying to do too much and he's not trusting his guys. The fact that it's taken him and Marvin all season to figure it out, the fact that Trey McBride and their lack of consistent red zone success in the passing game, you got to hope that James Conner is going to be okay, as he's been one of the most explosive, one of the most reliable running backs in football. Even this past week versus Carolina, Carolina does have one of the poorest rush defenses, but James Conner was out there balling both as a running back and as a receiving back. It's just on Kyler to make these extra plays, and you let up 36 points. That's not always on you. And Kyler, of course, putting them in position to go into overtime, which is fine. You show some resilience, but it shouldn't have gotten to that. And you shouldn't have lost this game versus the Panthers. I still believe in Kyler. I still will label him as a franchise quarterback. That being said, there's got to be times where we're going to have to take the next step in our progression. We have to get better. We have talent now. We have McBride. We have Marvin. James Conner's getting up there, but we just extended him. We are good enough to compete on the offensive side. Let's start to see it on a consistent basis. So it's fair to have these questions.
Yeah, I've been pretty disappointed with Kyler Murray. I feel like at this point in his career, if you would have told me after his rookie or second year that he's still in conversations with Jared Goff and kind of the tier of quarterback he is, even maybe Dak Prescott, if Dak was healthy this full year. I mean, last year Dak was definitely better. Of course, Kyler got hurt, but the fact that he hasn't really elevated his game from what he's been, right now he's just an explosive playmaker who outside the pocket can make some really good plays happen. But I do feel like in structure, he's just not that refined. And for him being the first overall pick, you're going into year 6 now, I want to say, around that, year 5, 6, 7, whatever it is for Kyler Murray to be this far along and still not progress in your game. And on the other hand, it's not a good look for him that Cliff Kingsbury's over there in Washington and Jaden Daniels in this offense is playing out of their mind. I mean, this is one of the best offenses in football. I know it feels like to start off the year, we were talking all about Washington. Middle of the year, they started playing some better teams. They started losing some games, so we stopped talking about them. But now you look up and you're like, oh, they're top 5, if not top 10 in almost every offensive metric you're going to look at. And that's Cliff Kingsbury and Jaden Daniels doing phenomenal over there. So it is a bit disappointing that Kyler hasn't making that next step. He's still a franchise quarterback because the talent's there. He's one of the best athletes at the position, and he still has a great arm. But it is disappointing that he hasn't taken that next step. One quick thing I'll say about the Ravens, because I hope you're right, Joel. I hope they figured out this defense. We were texting a little bit.
You're going to mention the schedule.
The opponent, I just need to see something against a really good offense or a respectable offense, because they played the Steelers twice. once without George Pickens. They played the Chargers when J.K. Dobbins went down. They still scored like 23 points. They held Philly to 24. I think that's a pretty respectful job for what you can do with the Eagles. And then they played the Giants, held them to 14. So I'm waiting for them really to play like a more high-level offense to believe in their defense. Kyle Hamilton's one of the best players in the NFL, one of the best offensive players in the NFL. So I have no doubt it's going to make an impact. It's just have all of the pieces around him. Can he really cover up all of the deficiencies that they have? That I'm still wondering.
No, that makes sense. It's just the coverage bust early in the year. Marcus Williams was oftentimes out of position, and now Kyle Hamilton is doing his job. With Kyler, I think the disappointing part is that the defense has lived up to their end of the bargain, and I think they've exceeded expectations, and they've given Arizona a chance to win in every game. Really, this Panthers game, the Panthers scored a lot of points on them, but the first two matches versus Seattle, against Minnesota, like those games you can chalk up to Kyler just not being good enough. And that Kyler, he has a YouTube channel and he vlogs. And I'm looking at the last time he vlogged, it was a month ago. 72 hours with Kyler Murray, record-breaking victory. No video since then, a month ago.
So we need him back on vlogs.
I think he just vlogs when he wins.
Yeah,
if he loses, he doesn't vlog.
I respect the hell out of him.
And
I do the same thing.
I guess
I'll tell you what, that makes sense. How many times have we criticized Draymond Green after a loss? You're running to the microphone. No,
Talking bullshit.
not like I'm fine with that. After a win, you're allowed to do whatever you want.
Loss,
After
go to
a
the
loss,
gym.
Agreed.
Go
Go
to the
lock in.
he felt shameful after the Patriots loss. He was like, I can't post this one. Nope. We were on too much of a losing streak. My last one is that I think Sam Darnold is proving to be a guy. I think he's going to get a great contract this offseason. Whether or not he stays in Minnesota is another interesting storyline and talking point. I wouldn't be able to have the guts to let Darnold walk with how well he's playing. He's one of the three quarterbacks to join a new team and win 13 games. Peyton Manning with the Broncos and Steve McNair in the 2000s. Sam Darnold has 12 games of 100 passer rating games. The only quarterbacks that have done that are Aaron Rodgers, who did it twice, and Patrick Mahomes. He's only 27 years old. I couldn't, even with drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first round, Sam Darnold is actually doing it. And I think while the system and the weapons are helping him, there's no doubt he's going above and beyond. The throw he made to Jefferson to win the game is not a throw that just anybody's making. So it's an interesting decision that the Vikings have in front of them. But I think Darnold is proven to be a quarterback that you can build around.
And can go ahead, bud. Go ahead.
I do think this upcoming draft class helps the Vikings, though, because if they want to shop JJ McCarthy, you can make the argument he's the best quarterback out of Cam Warchett or Sanders and JJ. The fact that he still went in the top 10 in such a loaded draft class. I know he was the fourth quarterback taken or fifth quarterback, whatever it was. But the fact that there's only two quarterbacks that's most likely at a minimum going in the first round. We'll see if someone else sneaks in. But those two guys, Shador and Cam Ward, we know are going in the top 10. There is so many teams, more than two, that are going to need quarterbacks. Will they be willing to trade the 15th overall pick, the 10th overall pick to go and get JJ? Or would you be willing to kind of cut your losses and say, listen, Sam Darnold, I agree, Joel. I know I said, I think a couple of shows ago about how the system is helping him, but I agree. I think he's going above and beyond the system right now with the throws he's able to make. He's kind of just a bigger, more athletic version than Brock Purdy, who can make better throws. Like if you want to say like system-wise, Shanahan, how we kind of talked about Purdy, but I think Sam Darnold's a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. The thing is, though, when you have a guy like Brock, when you have a guy like Sam, you know these guys can take you to the Super Bowl. The question is for these, especially these systems, when you have Shanahan and KOC and all these great weapons, is can that quarterback go from getting you to the Super Bowl to winning the Super Bowl against a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen? I think Sam Darnold has proven this season he can do it. But if I was Minnesota, you also have to take into account we're going to have to pay this guy a lot of money. I don't think Sam Darnold's getting a $30 million contract. I don't think he's getting a Geno Smith level contract. He's 27 years old, having objectively one of the best seasons in the NFL, at a minimum top 10 season by a quarterback. He's going to want close to $50 million.
No, he's not getting 50. He's not getting 50. Geno and Baker both had
he can warrant
years.
50.
What Jared Goff just get?
No, but again, that's after multiple seasons. This is Sam Darnold 1 year, similar to Geno Smith, and Geno Smith got 25 for 3
Geno
years.
was also in his 30s.
I agree with this, but he's also 27. Baker Mayfield was how old? He got a similar type
28,
contract.
something like that.
I don't think he'll get 50 after. Listen, this season.
I think he'll get over 40.
No.
Could you see him get a Daniel Jones contract?
I think 40 is probably the ceiling because Baker won a playoff game last year too, and Daniel Jones won a playoff game before he got 40.
Vikings are 12-2.
NFC Championship game.
They're incredible.
They're 12-2.
They're incredible, but the Seahawks made the
13-2.
13-2.
The Seahawks made the playoffs after moving off from Russ. They were supposed to be one of the probably.
We did not have any hopes for Minnesota. All of us had them in the bottom 10, 15 going into the year.
Gino went 30-5.
If the Vikings,
they're 13-2, and he's having a top 10 season.
I'm not talking anything negative about Sam. I'm comparing it to Geno Smith, who did not have that great of offensive cast. I mean, offensive line.
How many years ago was that?
Say it one more time.
That was what he got paid 2 years
2
ago.
years
at 31 years old.
That was 2 years. Correct.
And how much did he get per year?
He got 25 annually for 3 years.
Oh yeah, that's a steal.
They robbed him. But I also think Tampa Bay got a very great contract off Baker as well. And I think that's something similar. I think we'll see Sam get more money than both of them. I think so because of the quarterback market. 50 M's is nuts. For 1 year, although this is an elite year, I'd go as far to call it an elite year. 50 M's for 1 year is nuts. I think that because he's playing this great, I'm with you. I would definitely start to think about, hey, can Sam Darnold be our franchise guy? I think it mostly has to do with how good he plays, how well he plays in the playoffs. If he keeps playing at this level in the playoffs, now I'm really open to the idea. And like you mentioned, Joel, if I can get a first-round pick for J.J. McCarthy too, now I'm really intrigued because I know I have Sam who can go in here and run my system at a very high level. I have J.J., I have Jordan Addison. Hawkinson's going to be more healthy next season. We can improve our offensive line. Aaron Jones is still a pretty solid back. Maybe we get a backup just in case because he does have his injury concerns. We can get better on the defensive side of the ball. We have Brian Flores. We're going to be good there. I'm with you in that sense. But I think it is dependent on what happens in the playoffs. And I do think that, yes, he will get paid, but 50 M's, that's where I'm going to disagree.
I think that's fair. I don't think he's going to get 50. I think he's going to get like 35, 40. I would probably put my money on 40 million a year. The Vikings are in a tough situation, and this is a unique situation. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer because this situation is almost never, ever came up in NFL history. This is very unique. They could pay Sam, but then you risk other areas of your roster getting worse, or they could keep JJ, and that 40 million that goes to Sam Darnold could be a Milton Williams, could be a Javon Holland, like a game changer type of player, even though Javon Holland has had a down year. But I think he just doesn't want to be in Miami. If he's reunited with Brian Flores, I think he'd play really well because he played well with Brian Flores when Flores was the Dolphins head coach. So those are like two marquee blue chip players. And at this point, I think Kevin O'Connell has earned the benefit of the doubt, and whatever he decides to do, you think that he can get the most out of whatever quarterback he has.
JJ will be great. I think whoever steps in will be great, but JJ has all the tools to be awesome at the next level.
Yeah, I think JJ is really good. Christmas games and Thursday Night Football predictions. We have 3 games.
Yes. One last thing. I want to highlight and give some love to Mr. Penix. I thought he played himself a pretty great performance considering it was his debut. No touchdowns to show for it, but you watch the games. I thought he made some very impressive throws. His lone INT, I'm sorry, man. It's over. We spoke about it too, Joel. What are the odds of that? I said, listen, this is my last chance with Kyle Pitts. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because the Giants are relatively solid against the tight end, and it'd be pretty poetic if he balls out in these last 2 weeks. But I cannot believe this guy, Kyle Pitts, just refuses to make plays on a consistent basis. To have that be his INT, Drake London drop a touchdown. I thought that he made some pretty nice throws. Very smart with the football in his hands. Avoided getting anything to harm's way. Didn't take any sacks. Avoided any type of pressure in that regard. I really liked what I saw out of Penix. A very clean game. It is against the Giants. Of course, we want to see how he looks in this next week. But regardless, for a debut, definitely a very good look moving forward.
Chiefs versus Steelers. What are our predictions for this one?
You going against the Chiefs again?
Yo, Joel, can you believe that?
You know what's hilarious is that I had a feeling that the Chiefs were going to lose one of these next 2 games. The fact that I picked the Texans to win and I was wrong about that, it just makes me think that the Steelers might do it. Last year they lost on Christmas as well.
Steelers need it.
I don't know if Chris Jones is going to play or not. I think that's the biggest storyline for me in the game. Just like last game, I didn't know that Joe Tooney was going to start at left tackle and be awesome. My goodness. And the Chiefs, the left tackle position, they figured it out. Offensively, there's no worry with the Chiefs when it comes to protection because they figured out their offensive line combination by moving Joe Tooney to left tackle. The defense still scares me.
Actually, for me.
Chris Jones, he leads the NFL in pressures. He is the most double team player in the NFL. I don't know why he's not getting more recognition as one of the best defensive players in the world. I just don't understand. I think the voting system with DPOY is crazy because defensive tackles are always at a disadvantage because they don't get the sack numbers. Aaron Donald was an anomaly. If Chris Jones doesn't play, I feel really good about the Steelers winning. I don't know if he will play. He has a calf injury, a grade 1 calf injury.
You're still going to pick the Chiefs.
I'm under the assumption that I don't think Chris Jones plays. I think George Pickens' plan is going to put stress on Casey's corners, especially if it's anybody outside of Trent McDuffie. And I think the Steelers defense, they're going to get multiple starters back. Deshaun Elliott, TJ Watt was a full participant in practice. He looks healthier. Joey Porter Jr. is not going to play. That's a big blow. But I have the Steelers winning this game on Christmas.
I'll say this, talking about your DPOY comment. Think about last year. Who were the only ones that knew L'Jarius Sneed was one of the best corners in football? Fans, people watching. You didn't hear about L'Jarius Sneed being one of the best corners in football on a global scale on ESPN, talking about how great and how incredible he's been. No, you heard about Surtain, you heard about Sauce Gardner. That's it. Because when you think of the Chiefs, you think of two people. You think of Pat Mahomes and you think about Travis Kelce. All the credit goes to the Kansas City offense whenever people talk about the Chiefs. So like L'Jarius Sneed got slighted, we're seeing Chris Jones, who has a chance to be a future Hall of Famer if he continues this level of dominance. He's one of the best D tackles this game's ever seen. That's also the truth. It's just the truth that you do not get credit as much as the Chiefs offense does. And even last year where it looked as if their defense was the main reason why they were able to go ahead and ultimately win the whole thing. In the biggest games, Patrick Mahomes played up to the moment, and of course, he did deliver. But that's just how it goes when you're on the team with the best in the world.
I think that's fair, but I think defensive tackles get slighted. Like Jalen Carter, I think, has been a top 3 talent this year, and he's not getting any recognition on one of the league's best defenses. With the L'Jarius Sneed thing, it was tough.
He was getting some love, I'd argue, but I do also think that correlates to the sack numbers, which is, I believe, your point.
Yeah, like the sack numbers, they have to be there. And with Chris Jones, his sack numbers are always good, but they're not Aaron Donald. They're not like 18 sacks at the defensive tackle position. With the Chiefs, I mean, outside of Mahomes and the big time stars, everybody's going to kind of get overlooked. L'Jarius Sneed got overlooked last year. They also had Trent McDuffie. I think the difference is that Chris Jones is the only elite defensive player on that defensive line. If he's not getting pressure, nobody's getting pressure. George Karlaftis has been steady, and I think he's a really good player. But Chris Jones is the only game changer, and he draws so much attention. And if he's not playing in this game, and I don't think he should, a grade 1 calf injury, let him rest a week. Don't risk nothing because you need him for the playoffs. I think they're going to have a tough time generating pressure on Pittsburgh.
I'll make this simple for you guys down low. Every week, I vow, Kansas City. Go ahead, boys.
I need a Steelers loss, man. I need Bills to get that number 1 seed. I need it more than
I need a Chiefs loss.
The Steelers to win.
Yeah, I need the Chiefs loss. Sorry, I need a Chiefs loss. Yeah, I was looking at my sleeper, and man, my last 6, man. I've had 2 duds. Those are the weeks that really I went 11. Week 11, I had 11 wins. Week 12, I had 9 dud. Week 13, 16. Week 14, I had 6 dud.
You ate shit there.
Then
I went 14 and 12. I just got to be steady. I got to.
Bro went perfect. He said, "I'm taking the week off."
I was gonna say that week 6 the 6 wins like damn near canceled out the perfect week.
Yeah, I know that's why. So it's like I just got to find some consistency. But I think this might be another dud week because there's gonna be a lot of favoritism in my picks this week. But I got Pittsburgh, man. I think they need it. I think more than anything, they need it right now. They're tied with the Ravens for the division. I don't know how that works, and division tiebreaker. I think it's if you have the most division wins or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh might have more. I don't know, but they need it. Yeah, they need it bad. You're coming off not a bad loss against Baltimore. You know, Baltimore was home. You kind of expected to split it, but that was another game where you could have won that game. But you lost one before that to the Eagles. So now you've lost back-to-back games against really good teams. Now you're facing up against the Chiefs team. We talked about it this year for the Steelers team. The back end of the schedule was going to be super tough for this team, and this was really going to show us, who they are. And granted, they didn't have Pickens back-to-back weeks, so you give that offense a little bit of leeway. They played really tough, both against the Eagles. We kind of shook them up towards the end, but against Baltimore, they played really tough. I think for this one, Pittsburgh needs it. I'm going with the more desperate team. I think for Kansas City, they've kind of locked up a playoff spot. They've locked up the 1 or 2 seed, in my opinion. So I don't think, like you said, Chris Jones doesn't really need to play this week. They can chalk this up to a loss and keep it pushing. They've already locked up their division, in my opinion. So I'm going with the more desperate team. I'm going Pittsburgh in this one. I think they'll get the W.
Are we forgetting that if the Chiefs win, don't they get the 1 seed secured?
They do. It's over. They get the bye. Yeah.
Yep.
And then it makes sense that week 18 you sit your guys.
Yeah, it's just Chris Jones is fresh off the injury. That's why I don't know if I'd risk playing him in this matchup.
All right,
Buffalo needs them to lose too, though.
I was going to say they need to lose this week and against the Broncos.
And also, the Chiefs could still win without Chris Jones. That's just how great the Chiefs are. So they could win this game.
I'm taking KC here. I respect taking the Steelers. I do think the last 2 weeks has been disappointing with them. Of course, I'm George Pickens, so it's like you're playing some of the best teams in football. You're also without your number 1 weapon, and now it's Calvin Austin stepping up to be your number 1 receiver and option, or Van Jefferson.
He's good.
Who, Calvin Austin himself a nice game against Baltimore. But I got KC here. One interesting thing, and this isn't a hate podcast because I like the player. Went to Rutgers. Since Isaiah Pacheco came back, the Chiefs' run game has fallen apart. They are a bottom 10 unit in terms of success rate and EPA. When it was just Kareem Hunt, they were above average league. I think around top 10, top 12 in terms of rush success rate and EPA. It's been awful these last few weeks, and he's coming off a broken leg. I'm not expecting him to be great, but I wouldn't be surprised, like we saw in this previous game, that Kareem Hunt gets more involved because, of course, we think of Patrick Mahomes in this offense, but Patrick Mahomes hasn't been the same Patrick Mahomes this year, in my opinion. I don't think he has been the best quarterback in football by far like he has been in years past. He hasn't been as consistent, I think, throwing the ball down the field. So they need that run game to be good. It cannot be terrible. And it's been pretty terrible these last few weeks. Even still, I got KC winning.
He's the best third down quarterback in the NFL.
No, he is. I just don't think this year he's been by far and away the best quarterback like he has been.
If the Chiefs don't have a run game, they will still be fine. It does not matter. It's Mahomes.
Why are you picking against them 2 weeks in a row? Chris Jones?
Because I need, at this point in the season, we got 2 weeks left. You have a cushion. I need to start picking some opposite picks. That's just the reality of the situation.
Kansas City Chiefs cannot win the Super Bowl. They can't.
Well, all I'm gonna say
No,
is
they can.
Don't let me get ahead of you, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, listen, these are just 3 games. We got the same. Well, hold up. The next game is Ravens and Texans. You said you're picking favorites, so you're picking the Texans in this one.
No, he said favoritism.
I know.
Sorry.
Favoritism. Ravens and Texans is the next game on Christmas. Riv, you're picking who?
Damn, Drew usually goes first, then Dehls goes second. Like you just
Dre, if you want me to help you out, bro, I can go.
I'm picking the Texans. Listen, man, I don't think
that's a bad pick.
It is a bad pick. It's a bad pick.
Look, it probably is. I've done bad picks before. It doesn't really matter.
Yo, tell him, aren't you guys tied?
We are tied now.
We are tied. Yeah. I gotta ride till the wheels fall off with these guys, man. I'm gonna pick the Texans. I think I pick them every single week of the year. I gotta go far with them. I have a feeling that we're gonna get a CJ Stroud game. We're gonna get one. I don't think last week was terrible, but it wasn't good. I think it was like in the middle. They had a chance to beat the Chiefs. A couple things went short. CJ threw a couple interceptions, but I think the secondary still lacks some. Not talent, but I don't think they're all the way there yet. I think this could be a really big Nico Collins game. They're thinking about picking up Deontay Johnson, but
they did.
They already picked him up.
But I'm not really moved by him. That's Dell's guy. I'm not really moved by him. But I think I'm gonna pick the Texans here of blind faith. I think they need it. They will get it, and I'm here for it.
I'm picking the Ravens. Yeah, I'm picking the Ravens.
I got Lamar Jackson.
There's so many things that have to go right in order for CJ Stroud to have a CJ Stroud game. Like there's so many layers that
in a minute.
I don't believe in our offensive line. I don't believe in the play calling. And that right there are just the 2 things that are holding CJ Stroud back, even though he played well against the Chiefs. He did play well against the Chiefs, and that throw to Tank Dell, unfortunately, got him hurt. It was just it was a hell of a play. It was an unfortunate result. But yeah, I think the Ravens win this one.
Riv, what's your opinion on Dehls saying Drake May clears CJ Stroud?
Clears?
He said clears.
Why?
Relax. I said Drake May and Caleb Williams. I think Jaden should be in this conversation too. We didn't include him, but I think he should be here. Can all be better than CJ Stroud.
Was it just CJ or did you say other people?
He
CJ
just
was
said
the name
CJ.
that got brought up. I don't know why he got brought up, but he got brought up.
I don't think they're top 3 picks. That should be the ballpark. Like I don't think that's a bad take. I watched Drake play against the Bills. I was heavily impressed. That was like the 3rd time I watched
Drake
him.
May is special.
Yeah, like Drake May for sure.
The Great White Hope.
Jaden, I could see it. Caleb, I could see it. Sure. Yeah. I think Drake May and Jaden have shown you the most this year where you can make that opinion. I think Caleb is still up and down, but based off the potential, sure. What about Jordan Love? Is it the same thing for him too?
He could be.
I'll tell you what, man. The Packers are fucking lucky that they blew out the Saints because
the Saints are
Jordan didn't move me yesterday. Fucking bastard.
It was just whatever game. I think the thing that I was looking at the most in that game was Darren Rizzi's emotes on the sideline whenever something happened.
That's a
the
fact.
Saints head coach. It's just so cringe. Anything that he does, I'm just like, get this guy off the screen. But I'm also entertained at the same time with what he does. I think after Spencer Rattler took a sack on like a second second down, he took a sack. He was just like, I was like, come on, man. My goodness. Keep your composure.
Say it again.
Are you a CJ Stroud hater now?
I mean, since you like him, I don't mind being a hater, but I wouldn't
I've liked
call
him
myself
since last
a
year.
CJ Stroud hater.
Well, I've liked him since last year.
I know.
You didn't hate
Rev,
him.
don't question this, man. Don't question this because we know the type of quarterbacks that Dehls likes. We know the types that he hates on. He likes Drake May. He's hating on CJ Stroud. We understand what he's doing.
He does like Lamar, though. He does like Lamar.
No. That's that. Come on, Rev. You missed that one right over your head.
Oh.
Right over your head.
Yeah.
No, but I will say this is the time for CJ Stroud fans to rejoice because a lot of the bandwagoners are hopping off the train.
Exactly.
So you have to keep your ticket for the CJ Stroud stock.
We're good. We're sitting pretty, man. There's a lot of
still amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that's gone wrong that hasn't been solely his fault. Has he had a great year? No. Has it really been all his fault? No. So I'm not too worried. You want to put these rookies that are winning no games over him? Sure. You want to put these guys.
I wasn't putting him over him.
If you want to put guys like
they could all be better.
If you want to put guys like Caleb, who has shown you jack shit in his generational year, fine. That's fine by me. I don't really care about that. I will say though, Texans once again might win the division. AR, your quarterback in the division, stinks. So at this point, I'm sitting pretty.
Did I put Anthony Richardson in that group?
Smart.
Smart man.
He's mid.
Yeah, smart man. But we'll lock in.
Still have hope. But
I'm not selling my stock in that either. I still got a lot of stock.
He clears him.
Ooh.
Okay.
He's back in Bryce Young conversation. Get out. That's what
Whoa. Completion percentage wise, he was decent this week. 7 for 11.
7.
I'm gonna throw the fuck up. We're geeking up 7 of 11. I'm gonna vomit. Anyways, I'm gonna take the Ravens.
JT might be back.
No,
he moved me.
You needed that. You needed
so
that.
You
bad.
know what, Joel? You need to be thanking the Broncos because they humanized him. They brought him back to life. And you know what? He said, you know what? I got to go harder. I got to go harder now. Make him remember who the fuck I am. I'm here for it. I'm here.
29 carries, 200 yards, 3 tuds, multiple 50+. It was crazy.
Seahawks versus Bears, Thursday Night Football.
Taking the Seahawks. Fuck the Chicago Bears. Fuck them.
I would also be taking the Seahawks in this one. Yeah, I'll take the Seahawks.
I'm going with Seattle too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Chicago's
this is a clean sweep, Seahawks.
We'll be back 2025, 2024. I want negative to do.
Ben Johnson's intrigued per sources.
Keenan Allen, yo.
Ben, come to Houston.
I don't hate, but that means D'Amico has to get fired.
Okay.
Wow, that's crazy. He turned them around.
I like D'Amico. I like Ben too, though.
They've been force feeding Keenan Allen recently. It's kind of been shameless.
Moving me.
Bobby fell off, man. He stinks.
Who?
Bobby Slow. He stinks.
He shouldn't be there next year.
Need him gone.
NBA Christmas preview. We have 5 games on this slate. Spurs versus Knicks.
Before we start, Jokic Joestar, I think, tweeted this out. Who shout out to Jokic Joestar. They should not be putting these Christmas Day games. They shouldn't create them on when they release a schedule. They should wait until the season is, tell us a week, 2 weeks in advance, because I don't want, respect to Wemby. Okay, cool. I don't want to see the fucking Sixers. That's for damn sure. There's multiple matchups here that could have been changed, like Houston. If we could get Houston in here, Cleveland would be great.
Houston, OKC, we should have got that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, not even a movie.
Or OKC against somebody else. The Rockets offense can be disjointed a lot of the times.
They just physicality wise, and they always fighting in the game.
We needed Wemby on Christmas, baby. I know you guys been seeing my boy ball the fuck out. 29 blocks in 4 games.
He's incredible.
I don't think I need to see the Timberwolves, Lakers, or Warriors play basketball.
Lakers.
Oh no, we don't.
We need LeBron James on Christmas Day. Are you kidding me?
We don't need to see that. We don't need to see their product.
Excuse me? I'll tell you what, the product yesterday, we may have lost. It was a good game.
To the Pistons.
Good game.
We lost to the Magic.
Good game's a good game.
You lost to the Bulls. I didn't say a fucking word, but I remembered that shit. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. But you lost to the fucking Bulls the other day. But it's listen.
Spurs, so let's
Joel, we were talking about it. I think the Celtics have 6 or 7 losses now. At least 5 of them are to your teams.
Yeah, and the Knicks haven't beat them though.
No, Ribs teams.
The Bulls, the Warriors have beat them.
Cavs have beat them.
Damn. Oh, the Memphis.
What about the Grizzlies? Yeah. The Grizzlies too. Yeah, no. I mean, we know what the Celtics are this year. First game predicting them. They're the NBA champions. They're the favorites.
Right.
Yeah. What did you think I was insinuating?
Usually negative things come out of your mouth when it comes to Boston.
Spurs versus Knicks. I got the Knicks in this one.
I'm going to take the Knicks too, but I think Wemby's going to go out there and kill whoever's opposite side of him. He's been a demon. The 3-point shot's been falling at a consistent rate. He's been dominant on both sides. The offensive demon that y'all wanted, he's here. Oh, why is he taking so many threes? Because he hits them. Because he's like that. He clears Cade Holmgren. Don't ever disrespect him and put him in the same breath.
No.
Please. Don't ever do that again.
That's disrespect.
I'm rooting for the Knicks.
Not even
rooting for the Knicks. But if Wemby is so dominant and so fantastic that they end up winning, I won't be too upset. But I'm always riding my New York boys.
Those Wemby disrespect can't be tolerated anymore.
Yeah,
we can't put Bam in his conversation with defensive players because we know Wemby is better.
The Heat are the 5th ranked defense, and that is 88% because of Bam.
And what's Bam doing on the offensive side?
I never speak on it. I never speak on his offense.
Jesus Christ, it's dog shit.
I never speak on his offense.
You know who might be better than him offensively? Goga Bitadze.
He would play more.
That's brutal.
So I'm gonna go with the Knicks here. Is this a clean sweep Knicks? Is anybody taking the Spurs?
I got Spurs. I'm taking the upset pick. I'm going upset.
What do we have to lose?
We literally
you know what? I'm the New York guy. I can't go up against my guys.
You are. I'm going with the Spurs though. I just think they've been playing some cool basketball, some really tough, energetic, engaged basketball. I like what I've seen from Stephon Castle as a starter. The Knicks just don't play defense. Not don't play, but I think Wemby can really exploit and destroy this matchup single-handedly, especially in the Garden. A superstar like Wemby, you got to kind of come into the Garden and have your masterful performance. And I think what better day to do it than on NBA Christmas in the Garden? Come show out, have your 8 blocks, have a quadruple double or some shit like that. So give me the Spurs for the upset.
I got the Knicks, but excited to see Stephon Castle play.
Last thing I'll say, because I absolutely love and adore him, in his last 10 games, he's averaging 28 on 39% from 3, 5 blocks per game. He's as advertised.
Oh, you're talking about Wemby. You just said numbers with no name.
We should have known.
Yeah, my fault.
I thought you might have been talking about Cat. I don't know.
Carl Anthony Towns.
That's for the demon.
But 5 blocks per game, that's only one person doing that. Did you see that? Unless that stat was bullshit, that Wemby has more blocks than 91% of NBA history. Is that fact or cap?
I don't know.
It could be true because so many people probably have less than 10 blocks.
He's moving. Wemby's block thing is moving like Steph with threes. He has more threes than 50% of.
That's what, bro. He really is already in all-time great shot blocking conversations.
Yeah, I mean, like Dehls said, what's the sample size for that? Is it point guards? Is it just shooting guards? Is it just centers?
Yeah, 91% might be cap. Might be like 50.
No, it could be 91% if you're taking in like, okay, Earl Boykins and Isaiah Thomas into the equation.
I'll find it, and I will let you guys know as we go through.
Maybe
this
like their
next one.
first 2 years.
Yeah, because I mean, like Wemby, he probably has so many more blocks than a lot of just guards already, even though he's only played a short amount of time. Just, you're just not going to
It
block a
could
lot
be
of
capped,
shots.
but I will look, and I will let you know.
Yeah. No, I have the Knicks winning this game. Timberwolves versus the Mavericks. Now the Wolves have looked lifeless, so I'm going to go with the Dallas Mavericks because they have great depth. They have needle movers all across the roster. I'm gonna go with the Mavericks winning at home.
What do we think of? Was it Wilder Adams who tweeted? Someone that we interact with about Naz Reid potentially starting over Julius Randle.
He should. I think Julius Randle, you have to have him come off the bench. You have to increase the spacing around Anthony Edwards. I think at this point, most of the Wolves' problems are stemming from Chris Finch and the rotations that he has out there. I think you've already experimented too much into the season. You have to stick with a certain group. You can't keep trying shit out, and you just got to play the best guys. Rob Dillingham was a top 10 pick. You're not even playing him, and he offers something that you need. Chris Finch has to be better with the rotations.
I said that in the offseason.
I got the Mavs.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Mavericks too. I love them more than a lot of teams.
What's Reed Shepherd doing, Riv?
Wait, what? Wait. That wasn't an attack at Rob. That was saying I said start Nas in the summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got defensive.
You're gonna get me amped up
there real quick.
Yeah, no, I had no. I think Rob should get more minutes. He actually looks like their best point guard. But the real problem with Minnesota is they have two black holes on offense in the starting lineup, and then Julius Randle at times can be that. The two guys I'm talking about is Rudy Gobert and Jaylen Brown-esque guy that you love to prop up. It's the Jaden
McDaniels.
Yeah, he's like dog.
He just needs confidence.
He's confidence. Call it whatever you want.
He's been shooting well recently.
Bro said that so confidently. He just needs confidence.
That's it.
Yo, I was talking to Wilder about it, and he told me, he was like, yeah, Jaden has everything. He just needs to have the confidence. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, yeah, but Rob should get more minutes. I got Dallas in this one.
Yeah, Dallas.
I think this is a clean sweep. Dallas. Are you going Dallas, Drew?
Oh, dude, my favorite team in the league.
Favorite team, yeah.
The Sixers and Celtics. Now, this is a bad matchup because the Sixers suck. Paul George is the worst contract in the NBA. I think
you can argue ever.
The contract is so bad. First year of a $211 million contract, a max contract, and he's giving you Chandler Parsons numbers when he was with the Rockets. Like I just don't think Paul George has it anymore. I think he's visibly lost a step. He's not shooting as well as he used to. Tyrese Maxey has also been a bit disappointing. I never got the Philly hype. This is an underperformer joining the Sixers and Embiid, who never stays healthy. They were never going to be anything.
Did we look at each other because we thought the same thing? Okay. I don't know if that's true, but I will say
you never bought it. Don't lie.
I didn't buy it.
Never bought it.
I didn't buy it.
I know, and I'll stay honest.
I think you jumped off the train real early.
You hated on their depth, and that's fact.
I asked you, would you rather pay Paul George or like multiple role players?
We're cooking, and I'll give you that. But to say you never bought it,
I think you did slightly. Maybe
the big three, you love the idea. That, be honest.
They were the Sons of the East. That's what I said. They have,
but that would mean that they'd get wins.
They're top heavy. I mean,
that's actually rude to the Suns. The Suns ball.
I'm talking about buying it in terms of them actually being serious. Nobody thought they'd be this bad. It's not like
a healthy Suns team this year. They can make the WCF.
It's not like anybody thought that this team would be bad, but nobody ever thought this team could seriously compete and be a championship level team. You have somebody who's unreliable in Embiid and Paul George, a playoff dropper, and the depth stinks. I mean, this was never a serious operation. So no, I think the Sixers right now, they pigeonholed themselves into one of the worst contracts in the NBA, and the Clippers dodged a bullet. We don't talk about that enough. They completely dodged the bullet. I got the Celtics winning this game comfortably.
Yeah, Celtics should walk right by them.
Yeah.
Boston.
Lakers versus Warriors.
We didn't need this game. You're lying.
I'll be honest.
Warriors.
They always give us great matchups, so I'm not mad at the matchup. I'm just saying in a vacuum, if I could pick the teams.
In a vacuum, Steph Curry's dog shit.
He's hurt.
Remember when you were trying to take that bullshit victory lap on me, Riv? Don't you think I fucking forgot?
He's
When
hurt.
LeBron James was on his little mini skid, you were talking all that hot shit. You waited 22 years to get that bullshit off. I'm glad. I'm
hurt.
glad because your goat is falling off a cliff.
He's hurt.
22 years is a lie. There were moments. The 2011 finals. I mean, come on. There were moments.
That's a fact.
No.
Did I tell you I haven't gone back and watched? I don't know if I ever will.
2011? Probably shouldn't. There's no point. It really, truly, you've had moments where you can just.
I have to be in the dumps. There's something about me, like when I feel at my worst, I like to go all in on feeling terrible. Like when the Yankees lost the World Series, I was all in on listening to Hate Yankees podcast. Like I really was enjoying that for whatever reason. It helps me cope. But I need to really get back to that level of misery basketball-wise to be like, you know what? Fuck it. 2011, let's go watch it. I don't know if that time, hopefully it never comes. Hopefully I find a way to be happy basketball-wise for the rest of my life. But regardless, I'm going my Lakers. We play so bad against mid to bad teams. And I want to specify mid because I think the Pistons are mid and we're 0-2 against them. And I put out a tweet saying that it's embarrassing that we're 0-2 against the Pistons. Now,
Cade.
It definitely wasn't a favorite statement of Pistons fans and Pistons Twitter. And I understand that where if you read it, it could come across like I'm slighting the Pistons. It more so is an indictment on the Lakers because we don't play and respect our opponent every single night. We play differently according to who is on the schedule.
You're not much better than the Pistons, though.
I disagree with that. I think in the last 3 games that we played,
record-wise, LeBron, that's the problem.
No, again, we're better than the Pistons by a lot. Joel's just trying to get a troll.
No, you have stars, but your team, the surrounding parts are not that good.
We're better. I will say.
Do you play better defense than the Pistons?
No, oh God, we're one of the worst defense in the
league.
league.
No, and effort is a part of being better and who you are as a team.
Okay, Papa, can I fucking finish? And then you can talk.
The Lakers are mid, man. Stop. The Lakers are mid.
Okay, I'm not going to disagree with you. Can I finish? Jesus Christ. Anyways, the Lakers, please, I'm begging. Hands and knees. Anyways, last 3 games, we played against the Grizzlies and 2 games against the Kings. We played our best brand of basketball against the Grizzlies, who've been one of the better teams in the West, and the Kings, who have had our number. But we play our best brand against great teams.
The Grizzlies, you're just a bad matchup for, honestly.
That too. But again, the Kings, they have our number. But this year, we definitely have handled them like we should. Agreed. The Kings aren't that great. Regardless, against the Pistons, first go round, Riv, when we were watching on playback, it was the most obvious thing ever. We treated that game like it was an automatic W.
Right.
Tried to turn it on in the 4th quarter, and it was too late. They caught us with our pants down. Last night, we were sloppy, turning the ball over left and right. And when we tried to close the game, we simply weren't good enough to get the job done. And credit to Cade, who I didn't think had the most efficient night regardless, but still making some tough plays, especially down the stretch. That move that he had to get to the cup to finish over LeBron was one of the toughest moves of the season. But regardless, that is an indictment on the Lakers. It's not an indictment on the Pistons. When you see the opposing team, it doesn't matter who it is. You need to play the level of basketball that you want on every single night the same. You want that same energy. You don't play down to competition. That's where you go and you get yourself in the position that we've been over the last 3 years where we're a playing team. So yes, Joel, you're 1,000% right. That's exactly what I was going to say. But regardless, it sucks that I know nights we can go out there and we're balling like we're going up.
What it sounds like is
I got the Lakers, I got the Nuggets, I got it bounced. Merry Christmas to y'all. Lakers, Nuggets,
brother.
Peace, fellas.
Enjoy.
Peace out, Dehls.
You guys are gonna concoct this conversation. I just want to say, Steph ass regression plus hurt, knee tendonitis, cooked. Dre also hurt, falling off, cooked. Steve Kerr running 12 people still doesn't know what he's doing. We need a 1A for the regular season and then rest Steph to the playoffs. We don't have that, can't get that. Nonetheless, though, I'm still picking the Warriors. Continue with your conversation now.
I'm taking the Lakers. We're better than y'all.
the problem with the Lakers is effort. That's the problem, not the lack of defenders, not the lack of
100%.
three-point
All of that.
shooters. The spiel you went on, Drew. I hope that JJ Redick is saying that in the locker room to motivate the fellas. I hope he's saying effort is the problem, not that our personnel is actually kind of shitty. No, the
It is
effort
dog
is the
shit, too.
is the big problem. No,
Have I, Joel, have I said this Lakers team is good? Have I?
the way you're making
No.
it sound is like they're just losing because they're not showing effort. I think they're just not good enough.
Definitely both. Like, I think there's nights where one, we don't give effort, and two, we're not that good. Last night, it took AD getting kind of pushed around for him to kind of wake up. And even still, that lay at the end where he goes and puts a layup instead of dunking the basketball, that was soft to me.
That's who AD is, though.
And I'm not disagreeing with you. That's what kind of pisses me off. It's like we need to keep that same energy, specifically from Anthony Davis every single night. Is that fair to him? No, but at the same time, if you want to be in these top 5, top 6 conversations, you got to start bringing it every single night. And we cannot lose, even though, yes, they are a better team objectively, far better than they were last year, but they're not better than us. You need to beat them.
I just think the Pistons are playing really well, and I think
They're 4 games under 500, if I'm not mistaken.
They've won more games already.
4 games.
They're already on
I don't
pace
think
to
so.
win more games this year than last year. They are. They're like 12 and 17, or like 13 and 17, something like that.
Let's fact
They're
check
playing
that.
so much better. They're playing.
They
so
are
much better.
13 and 17.
13 and
yes.
17.
4 games under 500.
Yeah, but I feel like every Pistons game this year that I've watched, they're in dogfights with everybody.
They're a
Whether
respectable team.
it's beating the Lakers close or they're facing Boston,
That's
like
true.
they're keeping it close. So
I'm not disrespecting
that's why
them.
I
Agreed.
kind of think them and the Lakers is really not that far off. It's like
I mean,
kinda similar.
we're 16 and 13. Again, I see some games here where we got waxed by the Wolves. We'll lose to the Nuggets. They have our number, no doubt. But regardless, there's games that we shouldn't lose, and it's well closer than it should be. And then there's times where we just get out competition, we get outperformed, and that's also due to lack of talent.
I feel like I've taken a lot of home teams recently, the Knicks, Mavericks, Celtics. I think I'm going to go with the Lakers on the road to beat the Warriors.
Hell, then.
I mean, you're telling me, Riv, that you have all these injuries with Steph, but, Drew is making a good point about effort. If they don't show up against Dennis Schroeder, then they could be in some big trouble.
Brother, this brother went the whole first half and took 4 shots.
Dennis Schroeder.
The Warriors took all his superpowers. What the fuck happened?
Yeah,
No,
man.
about Steph. Like he just.
that too.
He can't move, but he's gonna keep playing. So.
Yeah, this is one of those games that 40-year-old LeBron gets up for. Facing
I
Steph.
respect that.
He still
And
likes
again,
it.
on Christmas. LeBron hooped yesterday.
He
I
did.
don't give a fuck. He was balling.
So I think the Lakers went on the road, and then the Nuggets versus the Suns. I think the
The Suns
Nuggets
healthy.
went on the road.
Yeah,
Devin
Suns
Booker's
are
not
healthy.
playing.
Who?
Devin Booker.
Oh.
Well, he's been out for a
Kevin Durant
while.
just came back.
Yeah, KD is back, but I think Devin Booker's dealing with an injury.
Mhm.
They're just never healthy at the same time. The Suns look uninspiring to me. I'm going to go with the Nuggets.
I'm going to take the Suns here, to be honest with you. I think the Nuggets are another team that, they're actually the real epitome of what I just described with the Lakers. But it doesn't matter if you're a great team or a bad team. They come out slow. It's just they're the best clutch team in basketball. So I'm going to go with the Suns in this scenario right now. I just think Kevin Durant, he's not a guy that you can go in and try and play with your food and then not close out the game in the fourth quarter. KD's been amazing when he's been on the court this year. Jokic, no doubt, has been too, but I'm just going to go with the Suns here. Just go with an upset.
Yeah, I'll go with the Suns too. I just think they've been playing some high brand basketball. I do like their team. I do think when they're healthy and they have all the guys there, it's a really nice, fun team. Playoff time, we'll see, but just regular season, I like how they've been playing. And Kevin Durant has been playing lights out. Hopefully when D-Book comes back, he can wake up. But I got the Suns in this one.
They just lost to the Pistons too.
Pistons are not. Cade.
Nah, he's been
played
thugging.
well.
Cade.
Devin Booker is out with the groin injury in this game, so I am going with the Nuggets. Player of the week, we have Victor Wembanyama and Cade Cunningham, who we were just talking about. And Victor Wembanyama, I have a Victor Wembanyama take that I've been waiting to get off.
There we go.
Let's hear this. I'm super
Record
interested.
this. As the Victor Wemby fan club #1 supporter, creator, founder of it, I think at this point in time, Wemby, you could argue, is the 6th best player in the world. With Jokic, Giannis, Luka, Tatum, SGA, the only players that I think you would take over Wemby are those 5, like definitively.
Did you leave to like? Was that like a I think,
It's a beautiful opinion.
I think it's early to the party.
No.
I think he's better than Steph. I think he's better than LeBron.
He's better than Tatum.
But no, he's not better than Tatum. Between Wemby and Anthony Davis, I think I'd go with Wemby. I think I would go with Wemby right now over Anthony Davis. There's only 5 players that you can convince me on and say these are the only 5 players better than Wemby right now, and that's Jokic, Giannis, Luka, Tatum, and SGA. Everybody else, Wemby is either better than or in the conversation with.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Luka and Wemby. I'm nuts.
Yes.
I'm not going that far yet.
You're nuts because you don't know what Luka Wemby playoff Wemby looks like, but you know what playoff Luka looks like, and that's where I'm kind of going.
All right, that was nasty of me.
I'm not saying you're wrong, Joel. I think for me personally, I think it's still a little early to the party. You know, we're like 20 games in. We have yet to see him in the playoffs. I don't want to just push him to top 6 yet. I want to wait to see. So like guys over AD, you know, I think I'll wait to see on that. In terms of the older guys, though, I mean, they're old. So, yeah, sure, like, you can put them over. But just for me personally, I don't think we've ever dubbed a guy top 5, top 6, top 7 in the world without seeing him in the playoffs first. And I'm not saying Wemby's not going to perform in the playoffs. We just have to see it. So, for me,
he's generational. He's a generational talent.
All right, but before I co-sign this, I need to know, offensively, Chet Holmgren, Victor Wembanyama, and then we can continue.
I got to see Chet Holmgren back from injury. Right now, it's unfair to him to
answer the question.
He's better than AD. What do you
Victor Wembanyama, his growth is rapid. So where he was from game 1 to now, it feels like the growth is just
and you being surprised
extraordinary.
Is the issue.
I'm not surprised by it, but it's an extraordinary rapid growth rate
it was
in a short amount of time
against Derek Lively, who has been really good against Wemby. I will give him that. He's been very good against Wemby. Has been amazing.
You think Chet's going to have the same rapid growth?
No,
I think Chet was playing really well before he got hurt.
He's never sniffed this product.
He probably never.
He has given us
on his team. He probably won't.
Night out is
but that's the thing. Is like Chet, he's not in a position to where he has to take the mantle and then he has to put up those type of numbers. But you know, J-Dub, I think he's been fine in Chet's absence, and he's taken on the role of the second star. But there are times where J-Dub can be a little bit inconsistent in a way where I don't think Chet, if he were healthy, would be. I think Wemby's an overall better player.
I
than
saw
Chet
Chet
Holmgren.
inconsistent in the playoffs.
Well, in the playoffs, but we haven't even seen Wemby in the playoffs yet. So we're judging one person on the playoffs in his first season, and then we don't even see nothing.
Play. I'm talking about inconsistent play.
Well, I'm talking about to start this season, Chet was playing at an all NBA level. He was one of the 15 best players in the league.
Couple games early on where he was nuts, like he was out of this world, and it was like, okay.
And then he got hurt.
This about no, not yet. This is where he didn't get hurt yet. He came back down. He was like, all right, this is really good still. Like your defense is all NBA great, but your offense is like, all right, this is what we kind of expected, not the damn near 30 almost every night. And then he got hurt.
I mean, that's fair, but Victor Wembanyama this year, it hasn't been straight line either or all the way up. There has been some moments where he's looked really good, then he's had some games, then he's looked really good again.
No, brother, this is King the Cog. You're going at 128 miles an hour, and you're going up 428 feet. That's Victor Wembanyama.
It's not, though. He's
the best you've ever seen already. He's goated.
He's had his fair share of like stinkers, you know, this year. Not
How
like
many games have they played total?
He's played 24 games total.
And in the last 10, he's averaging 28.
No, exactly. He's been better in the last 10, but I'm saying
the whole season he's shooting 36% from 3.
Yes, he's playing really good. I know that. That's why he's a top 10 player to me. But with Chet, I think it's still unfair. I think Wemby's a better overall player.
Keep it consistent then. If Wemby's going to be top 6, then hey, is Chet like on his ass?
I don't know. I haven't seen Chet play. He got hurt.
But from what you saw.
From what I saw, he was.
What you saw, it was good enough to say he was better than Wemby.
From what I saw, Chet was trending to be one of the 15 best players in the league this year.
Off of what you saw, then put him high.
I mean, yeah, Chet is an all NBA level talent. Yes.
So what number would you say he is? Got to be higher than Alperen Şengün. Has to be, right?
Well, I think, the older guys is really hard to rank. I think like Steph Curry and LeBron James and the Kevin Durant's of the world, their level of play can vary from game to game. There are some games where they can
KD's
look
been a
like,
god this year.
yeah, he has been, but he recently, since he's gotten back from the injury, it's been a little bit up and down too.
So
Versus the Pistons, he didn't shoot the best.
Chet's last 4 games before he got hurt was
Against the Pistons, he was 14 of 26.
29 points, 15 points, 14 points, 10 points. And then Chet got hurt.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Chet was okay, a god defensively, but where he started offensively, he did not reach that again.
Yeah, and then Wemby early in the season had a 6-point game against the OKC Thunder, had a 14-point game against the Rockets.
He got hurt against the Thunder, if I'm not
Wemby
mistaken.
just had a stinker against Minnesota.
Had a 17-point game against Minnesota November 2nd. Then he had 24, then 15 and 12. I think, those bad games are going to be there just like they were with Chet. I'm just saying Chet is incomplete right now. So when he comes back and if he doesn't play at the same level he's playing at before, I think it's fair.
Yeah, that was a bad game.
I think it's fair, but I think Wemby right now is playing like a top 10 player in the world. And when you talk about those older guys, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, I would take Wemby over them. What'd you say?
Bring Wemby to Golden State.
Bring Wemby.
You don't have the draft capital for that, buddy.
Just get him out of San Antonio. Rooting for San Antonio is like it's like pulling heartstrings.
I like him in San Antonio. They have a lot of draft capital to pair him up with another star.
Just as a LeBron fan, I can't love San Antonio.
The De'Aaron Fox stuff, the trade rumors are there with him. But no, Wemby's playing at that type of level. I mean, over the last week in the Player of the Week, 36 points, 7 blocks, 6.5 rebounds per game. He's 2-0.
He's a demon.
The Spurs are winning, and he's the main culprit for why they're winning. This is not a very talented Spurs team, and they're still winning games. And
y'all wanted to translate in defensive rating too. There it is, Papa. He's a fucking demon.
And his growth has really been rapid from game 1 to now. Like, he looks like a completely different player, just more confident, and just doing more things. It's just more things he's doing out of the toolbox. Cade Cunningham won Player of the Week as well.
His flowers.
And Riv, 27 points, 12.7 assists per game. I mean, the playmaking. I mean, that's really been the thing.
Remember when you said you don't think he's that good of a playmaker?
No, he's really improved this year.
This is an attack on Joel. And Joel, let's just acknowledge that it's out there. I apologize that this seemingly has been an attack on you segment. Let's continue, though. Cade Cunningham's been hooping.
I love these two players. Cade Cunningham.
Of what?
I love these two players. I do. Cade Cunningham has improved, and I still think there are things about his game that do need improvement, like his finishing around the rim. I think it does need improvement. He does still need to be a little bit more efficient, but his pull-up mid-range shot has always been a strong point of his game. He's always been a plus passer. Did I think he'd be this good of a passer? Well, when you're getting all the touches on the team, then the assist numbers probably will be there, but he's playing really well right now. And Cade, he's doing it on both sides. He's playing defense. He's a main facilitator for an offense, and the Pistons look like a functional basketball team. But Riv, don't forget our pre-draft scouting report on Cade. I mean, this is the ceiling that we both knew he had, and he's finally playing like it.
This is hilarious. You really fall off time and time again from pre-draft. You get a little muddy in the middle, and then we get to a point where you're finally back.
Because we see them in the NBA.
I'm glad.
So I'm sorry, my connection was gone. You're back?
On Cade?
Yes.
Cade Cunningham's amazing.
I saw this video. Somebody added me in this video the other day, and it was talking about Cade. Some nasty shit you were saying. Some real nasty shit.
The inefficient, yes, because I don't think that the situation
right now, man,
the entire situation that he was in, we can acknowledge it was bad. I still don't think that it didn't give us relevant data points to things that he needs to improve in his game. The turnovers, the finishing around the rim, those were really the two major things. This year, that has been masked because he's been a much better 3-point shooter than he has in years past. And now he has better shooters around him and better players. So those assist numbers and potential assist numbers are going up. But yes, he's a very good player, and him at his ceiling, he's a franchise cornerstone player that you can build around. And we're finally seeing it this year.
Yeah, Cade's been able to put the total package together. And I think it's translating more in the win column, just him being a leader, him just bringing I don't even want to say they're all good NBA players, but just guys who can shoot the ball. I mean, if you can bring in guys that can give you space. I mean, last year he was having, Monty was having 2 or 3 non-shooters on the court and having Cade run nonstop pick and roll, and he has nowhere to pass it to. He has to take the bad shots. The turnovers are high because essentially he has the ball all game. But now you've seen a resurgence from Jaden Ivey.
No doubt.
Cade, do his thing. You've seen Malik Beasley be able to shoot the ball really well. Tobias Harris, he's there. He hasn't been the greatest, but he's there. He's somebody who offers somewhat of a threat. Duran has been a wash. He's been extremely disappointing. But Cade has definitely still always has to work on the finishing, still has to work on the turnover problems. But he's just putting it all together, and it's translating to wins. I think this team still has a lot of ways to go, of course. They've kind of botched 2 or 3 years of the rebuild, but you've kind of found something with JB Bickerstaff, and I think that's really dope. And now that you found the coach, you kind of just have to work your way up and trying to build this roster. But Cade's been pretty amazing. He was in some nasty conversations years prior. Now I'm glad he's getting his flowers. Potentially might make the All-Star game. That would be really dope for him too. He's just been playing at an All-Star, All-NBA level, and I love to see it from Drew. Derek White, dead-ass serious question.
Cade Cunningham.
Okay.
Was there ever a moment in time where Derek White was the answer?
Yes.
For me or you?
Probably.
I'm just talking in general. For you, yes.
When Cade Cunningham wasn't available, which happened to be the first 2 years of his career, although, it was kind of like a spring training type deal when he first started his rookie year, then basically missed all of his sophomore year. That definitely was a bummer. But obviously when Cade Cunningham's on the court, and you see that he actually has reasonable spacing, like we see this season, reasonable, where you definitely do get a little bit of a boost with the additions that they made to the roster. You got to give Cade Cunningham his flowers. And like you mentioned, I'm glad that you highlighted Jaden Ivey too, because I think Jaden Ivey has gotten a boost to his confidence as well. And mostly he's going to go to Cade Cunningham because, of course, he's the franchise piece. He's the one that's going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to be facilitating a lot of the offense. But having another guy that you can trust to get a bucket of his own to a certain degree, you can go and you can rely on Ivy to a obvious lesser extent than Cade, but Jaden definitely has had a nice resurgence to his young career, having spacing in Malik and Tim Hardaway. And like you mentioned, Tobias has been a great veteran presence for them. I want to see Ron Holland get going a little bit more. Other night had 26 points, was aggressive in getting downhill. Want to see him get involved in the offense a little bit more of a slasher, getting to the basket, work that type of his game to work that part of his game to maybe give them that type of presence. But overall, like you guys have mentioned, like we mentioned when we were talking about the Pistons, it starts with Cade Cunningham, but a lot of respect goes to them trying to at least put a respectable team around him so that he can grow as a player and that it doesn't look so skewed where his usage is up there with Giannis, with Jokic, with Luka, that now obviously if he's going to have the ball in his hands, it becomes a lot easier to facilitate and attack downhill when you have some more spacing to your side. You need a big presence. Duran, like you mentioned, has been super uber disappointing for them. If you can go out there and find him a big, that might be like the one missing piece, like for the temporary, where obviously you want the Pistons to get a lot better, but at least this year they put it as a point of emphasis. Let's just get respectable role players around Cade and see if we actually have something in this guy. And Cade has definitely delivered for them.
Riv, who do you think's better, LaMelo or Cade?
LaMelo.
Me and Joel was texting about this. I think it's really close, honestly. I don't think LaMelo is just above all end talent ahead of Cade. I think as a shooter, you probably go LaMelo as a three-point shooter for sure.
As a decision maker,
they're both not the greatest.
No, I think Cade's pretty good at it. I just think he has the ball a lot. That's the real thing. I don't think Cade needs to have Luka-like usage with that type of roster. Cade versus LaMelo, I mean, Cade's winning more. Both of their rosters aren't far off in talent, I'd probably go Cade, honestly.
Like, who do you trust to make a better decision?
How I equated it to with LaMelo this year was Utah Jazz Donovan Mitchell. It's not the most efficient brand of basketball, but he's still getting to his buckets.
And losing?
But the difference is he doesn't have a Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. No, you're right. Maybe we could have used Bradley Beal, like 2020 Wizards Bradley
Yo,
Beal.
let's get Brandon Miller back onto court. Come on. What the hell?
They're like splitting time, like not playing together.
I know. That's actually blowing mine.
So like fourth quarter, you need Cade Cunningham or LaMelo Ball to make a decision, either shoot the ball or pass to an open man. Who do you
Mr.
trust
Fourth
with that
quarter.
decision?
LaMelo Ball has been one of the better fourth quarter players.
Has been pretty nutty in the fourth.
Just in general.
Casual. Caught him. We got him.
Who do you trust not to throw the ball to the other team?
I watched Cade do it yesterday.
Are you doing like a specific moment for LaMelo?
No, I'm just asking specific scenarios for both players.
Lakers game yesterday.
No,
I watched him do it yesterday.
I go LaMelo. I think I go LaMelo.
Okay.
As a better
so you think
player,
LaMelo's a better playmaker?
No. I think
That's
Cade's a
close,
better
though.
player. I
That's
think Cade's a
close,
better
though.
player than LaMelo.
Like comfortably a better player.
Like comfortably in my mind.
Like you're not thinking twice about it. You're taking Cade.
Yeah, I'm not thinking twice about it.
Well, you have a boy crush on him. I get it.
You're saying how you said LaMelo clearly.
I didn't say Clears. Relax.
You said LaMelo.
Okay, of course,
you didn't think
confidently,
about
which
it.
is why I'm with you.
Yeah. I think Cade is better for sure. I think if roles were reversed, Cade would still be doing what he's doing over there. You know, I think right now what he's doing right now with Detroit, having them being like we mentioned, a competitive team, that's important. That's something that this Detroit team stinks. Let's just really be serious. This Detroit team is not good. This is not a good team, and this team is arguably fighting for a playing spot. Granted, in the East, but they're both in the East. So both of them have an opportunity to fight for a playing spot. And I think what Cade is, he just feels like a little bit more of a veteran than LaMelo. I think Cade has that veteran type leadership type of aura.
He plays defense.
Yeah, he does play defense. He does give that effort on that side. And LaMelo's a lot more flash and finesse. Cade is gaming a little bit uglier. So, you may think LaMelo's better. But for me, I'll go Cade. I think the decision-making, the pick-and-roll game, just the way he can get to his mid-range spot, if he can get that three ball to be consistent, then you're talking about a potential two-level scorer because, he has to work on the finishing. But I think the mid-range is there. I think him getting to his spots is there. The three-point shot is getting to that. With LaMelo, still a work in progress. Like the three-point shot is locked for LaMelo. But it's still a work in progress in the art, So I think
he just takes so many. I want to see him not take fucking.
I don't like sometimes the way he shies away from contact. Sometimes he takes these, fadeaway floaters with the offhand. It's really weird. When he gets to the rim, it's just funky. But it's for his play style, so I get it. But I'd go with Cade. I think they're probably in the same tier. Honestly, I think if anybody thinks differently, you've either watched one guy too many, or you're not watching the other, or you're just a stat guy.
Perfectly said.
Co-signing the statement. Nice job, Riff. Nice job breaking that down for the audience at home. Yeah. That's going to do it for episode 439. Dehls had to leave. Pretty much he made it through the entire pod. He had to do a dinner with his family. It is Christmas Eve, so it makes a lot of sense.
Celebrate Christmas Eve?
I'm doing Christmas Eve with my guys today, too.
Yeah,
I love Christmas Eve.
Some people will celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve. Like they have the whole family gathering.
Yeah, we're doing that.
That's how they do it. Yeah, that's usually like a Spanish thing.
I have to put the tree up.
Yeah,
you haven't put the tree up yet.
That's crazy.
You have been gone.
Yeah.
You have been gone.
She literally waited till I got back. Like it was nothing in between.
You are the man of the house, so
you
gotta do it. That's gonna do it for episode 439. We'll be back after Christmas to drop another episode. But for now, have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy the days off with your family, and hope you guys enjoy a great day of sports, football and basketball alike. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening and or watching.